Hello and welcome to another edition of We Stream. Today we're going to be checking out JLAW Testimony. Yes, JLAW Testimony. JLAW, if you're regular to this channel and my streams, you've seen him popping in and out. He is a very long-standing supporter of this channel, and we're probably going to grill this man today. That's the kind of friend your boy is. If you want to force me to react to stuff that I otherwise might not, and you don't want me to do it on a live stream or leave it to the chance of me listening to a comment suggestion, go to the comment link pinned below and hire me to react to stuff. And that's the plug. Let's get into JLAW Testimony. This got some intro to this beat.
Chronicle, yeah. My testimony, yeah. Crossed up between heaven and hell. I pick a cross up. Now I got a story to tell. Please forgive me. All my situations are facing a segregation, like the sound that I'm giving you in the music that I'm making.
So the style of this is very 90s boom bop style. It's got a lo-fi feel, but some of that lo-fi is just from poor mixing of the vocals and the beat. They don't harmonize together. The mix, the vocals are a bit tin-canned over the beat. The bass isn't hitting right. It kind of is acceptable in a lo-fi boom bap sound, but it should still be done a little bit differently. The lyrics in lyric video thing majigajoo, I'd prefer almost just the picture at this point with lyrics in the description, only because the lyric video is kind of distractingly amateur PowerPoint feeling, like we have random different text fonts, but they don't seem to have a reason to be different fonts, and it's just an instant slide, and all the text is formatted to like that left aligning when it looks like maybe it should be centered or something. It just seems really random and weird. And it's actually distracting and makes the song feel more lo-fi in bad ways. But lyrically, I am enjoying, lyrically and flow-wise, I'm enjoying this concept, and we'll see where it goes, but it feels very 1995, lyrically and cadence-wise in a good way.
This generation, they want the bars, not a substance. Now my music fails all because of my reluctance.
Yeah, he said they want the bars, not the substance, which is... And his music fails because of the reluctance to do the bars. I call this out a lot, right? Bars for bars, all the dad joke puns that rappers have. Rap has gotten really corny in this generation. Like, people be going, oh, that's a bar for something that you would literally find in a book for, like, bad dad jokes. And that's not even an exaggeration or hyperbole. That is a literal statement of fact. If there's no reason for the pun, it shouldn't be there.
I know I'm a breed that is dying so very quickly, but I'm making sure to die by fire, 3rd degree. It's all in my chronicle. I'm smoking with emotion.
Weed bars.
The heart and my soul are devastated from devotion. They don't give a fuck. That's why it's hard to keep it going. But they're backing the wrong horse, moving like a Trojan.
All right, so there's a Trojan horse bar, kind of an overplayed sort of bar, right? One thing that I'm gonna deduct points from JLAW on is a lot of times people go, they don't like my music and they don't listen to me because of blah. And I'm going to press X to doubt anytime someone says that and their music production isn't like top shelf. Because then I'm like, until the music production's top shelf, that's probably the thing holding you back more than anything else. Have a professional mix and master it if you're not a professional yourself. To JLAW, I know he's probably more interested in having his message heard than anything, but because some of the bars in here say the reason nobody listens is because I'm an old school lyricist and everyone wants the bars, well, that might be true to an extent. I would say a bigger reason that no one's going to listen is the production quality of the audio, which is always going to be the top thing that holds back an independent artist over everything else. Moving on.
Give them what they want, those bars, they banging hard. Rip the speakers apart while reaching down for your heart. You can say what you want, but what I'm doing is a fluent transition of moving in real hip-hop movement.
Like, I don't disagree with any of the lyrics, but like I said, I think the cause for the effect you are seeing is probably more the audio production than the lyricism. Because there's plenty of people who are jaded by dad joke pun bars, just like myself. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons Tom MacDonald has a big following, is because he doesn't do a lot of that with his bars. He just straightforward concept music. He's not always just doing wordplay for wordplay. NF is another one who has bars, but he uses them with purpose. So there's definitely lyricists out there that don't just do a lot of these puns for bars, and when they do it, there's a real purpose to it, that have followings. And the difference there is they have good audio production.
These are the words I'm giving to you under oath. Sick of being unknown, I'm sick of all the false hope. I gave you all my declaration, affidavit, stated that no one's above the law, and I refuse to be nameless.
I like that. No one's above the law. I refuse to be nameless. His name is JLAW. Hey, but the mix needs fixed.
These are the words I'm giving to you under oath. Sick of being unknown, I'm sick of all the false hope. I gave you all my declaration, affidavit, stated that no one's above the law, and I refuse to be nameless. Live and die by the words that I write, like or dislike, despite what you hate from what I say. That isn't nice. Wasn't born to be nice, but at times I need to be, cause I'm the only one who's deserving of misery.
We got some self-loathing bars.
You can take it or leave it, don't give a damn what you're thinking. If you thought that I did, then why the hell am I rapping? First one was just a glimpse in the mind of a merchant. First two, you get the power from the mind of a wordsmith.
I like the merchant wordsmith play. Again, I like everything about this vibe. It does feel very 1990s, and if it was produced better, and there was a little more done with the vocals, a little more done with the doubles and the ad-libs than what's been done, and a couple different parts where the cadence has more deliberacy, and this lyric video was burned in a pit of fire. It's too easy for anyone to have studio quality recordings, or at least something that could get close to that level, for you to put something out there that's not at that level. And if you do, it's just going to be mostly forgotten. Most people, even if they see raw talent, it's going to be hard for them to get behind it if it hasn't been produced well.
Myth, total contradiction, inscriptions are never written. That constructive criticism is given with my permission. I'm bombing atomic.
Yeah, you're going to get constructive criticism from me. Hey! And sometimes I'm just going to troll you. It depends on what you give me.
Like Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
Hey, don't be bringing Japan into this.
My honesty policy has become my philosophy. I'm enduring the merits of moments when I embarrass a terrorist. I am not, but if I was, you would cherish. I'm replacing the artists you all were hearing, engineering mediocre material too unbearable to stream.
But again, you can't be calling people out in that way when your material isn't mixed well. If someone gives me something with turd for lyrics, but it has a clean mix and it's a beat that I could like move to, I will put that on repeat well before something with deep, meaningful, poetic lyricism that sounds like it was mixed in a garbage can. It's music. The primary function of music is to sound appealing. The way our brains process it is for the sound. The literature aspect of music is the secondary form. Music, as it developed, didn't always have lyrics to it in all forms of it throughout history because it is the secondary part to it, and the lyrics should be more of a vocal instrument. And in rap, usually the rap voice isn't used as an instrument. I like when rappers understand their voice as an instrument and use it that way, but a lot of rappers don't even use their voice as an instrument, so it's even further secondary. Like in this case, the voice isn't being used as an instrument. It's being used as a storytelling method. It's being used as a narrator of a literary story, which is secondary. And you're not going to get the secondary purpose of the song to matter to people if the primary function of the song, which is to sound good, doesn't exist first. And things don't sound good when they're not mixed properly because the way our brains interpret sound in a spherical space isn't as well satisfied and doesn't trigger the same positive chemical reactions if certain sounds aren't layered in the right ways that professionals know how to do it, which is why if there's a pop song where all the lyrics that are said in the entire song is, I want to, boink you in the butthole, but it sounds good, I will be more likely to listen to that than to this because the primary function of music is to sound good. Rant over.
These are the words I'm giving to you under oath. Sick of being unknown, I'm sick of all the false hope. I gave you all my declaration, affidavit, stated that no one's above the law, and I refuse to be nameless. These are the words I'm giving to you under oath. Sick of being unknown, I'm sick of all the false hope. I gave you all my declaration, affidavit, stated that no one's above the law, and I refuse to be nameless.
And before anyone starts to go off, well, what about your music? Your music a lot of times sounds super weird, and you say that's on purpose. So what do you... Well, in case you didn't know, a lot of my songs aren't meant to try to blow up. They're meant for artistic expression with no desire for that song to like be mainstream or be heard. When I complain about stuff, I don't say I should be more well known. I just say, I point out the fact that most people don't like weird sounding music, even though I do. And most people don't pay attention or don't understand my lyrics, because most people don't. The reason I'm taking issue with JLAW's song is he's saying the reason nobody listens to me is because I'm a true lyricist and they just want dad jokes. Maybe, but the primary reason is that it doesn't sound right. Even my weird music is engineered correctly, so it might have a weird vibe, but the aesthetic of it is properly leveled out, so it sounds correct from a musical engineering standpoint. So people are going to have to actively dislike it for the weird content rather than the way it just sounds at face value. So that's the difference there. If this is mixed perfectly, people still might not like it because they don't care about the lyricism, blah, 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 making JLAW's claim at that point more valid. But at this point, his claim isn't valid because the mix isn't good enough to be able to say that the reason no one's listening is because of the lyrics. You have to get to a certain level before you can blame the lyrics, and this isn't there.
Hip-hop gift, God gave it and I'm different. You wanna be me? Then ask Santa when it's Christmas.
Santa bars.
I
I like how his ad-lib laughed too.
Satisfaction was a monster.
Uh-oh, he's talking about reaction channels.
Me, then ask Santa when it's Christmas. Depending on the channel's reaction. Satisfaction was a monster in my head. He loved laughing while attacking.
Well, I mean, that sounds like me. I laugh and attack. So JLAW's dissing me. Shots fired.
Conquering the damn demon, demeaning my self-esteem. It wasn't easy, but believing was a factor in achieving. A story of glory, the blood and guts begin pouring. Bring the rival before me, the next morning he'll be mourning. Take him out, no doubt, I X-Men with the pen.
I like the X-Men with the pen. I don't know which reactors or reactor he's taking shots at. Could be me, could be some other reactor, could be all reactors in general. But you gotta pay someone to listen to your stuff. You gotta get a real talk depending on who you pay. You always gotta get real talk from me.
And getting paid to do it.
Yeah, I'm getting paid to do it. Hell yeah!
Got juggernauts.
Juggernauts in your pockets. That means you might pay me to do more songs. Hooray! Money for Skeem!
In my pockets.
And that Juggernauts was also attached to the X-Men bar. Juggernaut, I see what you scheming.
I'm headed for the top. Destination is endless. Few things on my wish list. Enemies on my shit list.
He's got the wish list, which could tie back to Santa Claus if you really want to extend that scheme back here.
I'm becoming a hellion. Rhyme schemes are rebellious. Hate the way that they place me on the rhyme skill level. But this is how it is. I've said it since the beginning. I don't care who you are. You cross me, it's never ending.
Wondering what the cross me never ending, if there's more to that. Might be just reaching in my brain.
These are the words I'm giving to you under
Oh, here we go for the hook again. So that was him taking, shotty shots and saying, I'm gonna keep going. Fuck y'all haters, but I'm gonna pay for the reaction to challenge myself to do better, which is kind of what part of that was. Part of it was fuck you. The other part was, but I'm gonna keep doing it because I'm gonna have those stacks and I'm gonna keep, inviting you to test me, invite you to ridicule me, and I'm going to come back better and say, haha, fuck you, which isn't the worst attitude to have, as long as you're actually going to take some of the critique that you're given and apply the changes that are recommended of you, then yeah, that's a good mentality to carry that chip on your shoulder. Because to be honest, like when athletes and people have a chip on their shoulder, there is usually a good reason for the chip being put there. Like there was usually things said about them that they lacked at that were true. And when they put the chip on their shoulder, they focused on making those things better just to say, fuck you, I was able to overcome that. Because it's easier as a human to, instead of just say, I have fault, let me be better, to say, I want to prove you wrong regarding the fault you said I had. It's just more motivating that way. And I think that's kind of what his verse was about. But I could be misinterpreting it, but that's how I'm taking it.
I'm sick of being unknown. I'm sick of all the false hope. I gave you all my declaration, affidavit, and stated that no one's above the law, and I refuse to be nameless. These are the words I'm giving to you under oath. Sick of being unknown. I'm sick of all the false hope. I gave you all my declaration, affidavit, and stated that no one's above the law, and I refuse to be nameless.
So I'm still going to stand by on this little testimony there, JLAW, to burn that lyric video in the fires of hell and get it mixed again. I don't think there's anything except for the beat after this, the instrumental fade. Alright, so that was JLAW, testimony, official lyric video from hell. I'm gonna keep saying that about that poor lyric video. The lyric video was like, what did I ever do? Well, you existed, didn't you? So, if you liked or disliked that, blah 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 blah, leave your comments below. You can request your own shit or someone else's shit be reacted to at WeSkeem.com. That is, below in a pinned comment. And until next time, I scheme, you scheme, we all scheme for ice cream. Bye!